Today we're looking at another one of the events in Paul's life. Today we're going to look at Paul's trip to the city of Athens. So what I encourage you to do is to press pause on the video now, grab a Bible and read it for yourself in Acts 17 before continuing. In this passage we have a fantastic example of Paul using the culture of the time to show who Jesus is. And I think there's a lot in there that we can use and can help us with talking to our friends about Jesus. Firstly, Paul uses the culture of the city of Athens to show Jesus. The city is full of idols, and this distresses Paul. But when Paul gets up, he talks about the idols, and especially one that he found that was to an unknown God. And he uses that to explain who Jesus is, a knowable God. He also references some of the poets and authors of the day. We can do the same when we're talking to our friends about Jesus. I mean, there should be a lot in today's culture, in today's world, that should distress and upset us. But there is also a lot that we can use to show who Jesus is. Does Love Island contrast with God's love for us? Does Ariana Grande's The Light Is Coming tell us something about God's restoration? Secondly, Paul chooses not to criticise, but to find common ground. Paul never endorses the idol worship of the people of Athens, but he does find a connection, a common ground with them and who Jesus is. To big up Jesus, to talk about Jesus. You know, if we start off by criticising people for what they believe, they're going to switch off like that. However, when we find a common ground, something we can agree on, then they'll start to listen. They'll start to listen as we explain how great Jesus is. Paul, when he's talking about Jesus, started off that altar to an unknown God. And as he spoke, he picked up Jesus more and more and more and more. The consequence of that was that it highlighted problems and difficulties with the things Athenians believed. The same can happen with us. If we choose to big up Jesus, the consequence of that is they start to reflect themselves on the things they believe, and maybe start to realise how Jesus is so much better than what they believe in. So let's use the things of today's culture to show our friends how amazing Jesus is, to make connections with them. Just have a think about the things in today's culture, the films, the music, TV programs, video games. What do they have in them that can show about Jesus or contrast to what we believe Jesus is like? Where is Jesus in these things? Let's start to have a look. And we may find that actually Jesus is not as far away as we think.